Hey everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome to today's live broadcast. Welcome to Beauty School, where we hope to just discuss how we can raise daughters to be beautiful, not only from the outside, but from the inside out. And, just in case this is the first time that you're joining us, as far as a background, well, I am a father of not one but two daughters as of actually last week. I have a newborn daughter now at home, and she just turned a week old yesterday, so really grateful for that. And, when we had our first daughter, as a man especially, it's one of those things where you're just not quite sure what your role is, like how you fit in, like what your goals for your daughter should be exactly. If I had a son, if I was we were expecting a son, maybe it'd be, easy to just, get right in line into my role and be like, hey, you're supposed to be a leader, you're supposed to be the man, you're supposed to just crush everything. But when you have a daughter, it's like, well, do I still have those expectations for my daughter? Like, what are those things that I should be encouraging or helping her develop? And so when it came to having our second daughter, it was like, I want to really just go on a journey with her, and maybe if I can from week to week learn different things at the end of a year, by the time she's a year old, wouldn't it be amazing if I just had an outline of those qualities that make a woman, a girl, and a woman eventually beautiful from the inside out? So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in joining me on as far as the journey, I would love if you would come along in this journey, and if you felt inclined to subscribe or to even like this video, I would really appreciate it. And I hope that you would also get something out of it. For instance, if you are a parent, especially if you're a dad and you're raising daughters, and you're just trying to find what those qualities are that will help them through life and even beyond this life. If you're a spiritual person that you want them to walk in step with God's calling for their lives, then this is a great place, I think, for you. So, what I wanted to do in terms of guiding this discussion is actually use a text that I know is reliable, is a strong foundation. And I was thinking about the Bible, and what I realized using a kid's Bible for my first daughter, it just breaks things down so simply that I felt like with each story in the Bible from the kids' Bible, there could be a quality about character that we could take away and feel encouraged to pass on to our kids. Sound good? Well, I'm gonna get the guest of honor, which is my second daughter, who again just turned 1 week old yesterday. So this is actually part two of week one of the series, because she was she might have been hungry. I might have brought her on the camera at the wrong time. So now we're going to try and make up for that, and we're going to try and get through the first two stories of, again, this is the beginner's Bible, and I'm including the link down in the comment section below, so that if you're interested in following along, you can have your own copy, which you can get on Amazon for shipping and everything if you're in the US for less than $10. So I hope that it will be a great resource to you for this exercise and just in general. It makes a good bed night story for your kids. All right, let me go get her. Hold on. Right. All right, here she goes. It's gonna take this out for safety. Okay. And here she is. Only 8 days old already on a live broadcast, crushing it. And she's kind of like somewhere between awake and getting her beauty sleep on. You know what I'm saying? All right, well, let's turn to the first chapter here, and we're gonna hope to get come away with a better understanding of beauty from the Bible standpoint. and maybe what God considers to be beautiful as far as character. With that said, our first class is now in session. So, the beginning, that's the first story. And it says, in the beginning, the world was empty, darkness was everywhere, but God had a plan. God separated the light from the darkness. Let there be light, he said. And the light turned on. He called the light day, and he called the darkness night. This was the end of the very first day. Then God said, I will divide the waters. He separated the waters in the clouds above from the waters in the ocean below. He called the space between them sky. This was the end of the second day. Next, God rolled back the waters, and some dry ground appeared. He made plants of many shapes and colors. He made mountains, hills, and valleys. This was the end of the third day. God put a shining sun in the sky for daytime. He put a glowing moon and twinkling stars in the sky for nighttime. This was the end of the fourth day. On the fifth day, God made swishy fish and squiggly creatures to live in the ocean. Then God made birds to fly across the sky. On the sixth day, God made animals to creep, crawl, hop, and gallop. Then from the dust, God made the most wonderful creature of all, a person. God named him Adam. On the seventh day, God rested. So that is a story about creation. And there's such a debate, in this world about the origins of the world, and whether you want to believe it as fact or not. We do have evidence of a a design, a start that was intentional. And I think it was Albert Einstein that says he can believe if you look down, for you not to believe in God. Like, he can understand that, but if he can't understand if you look up, that you could still not believe in God. I believe that's along the lines of something that he said, and I think that that's true, and is relevant to what we just read. So as far as, and I have up here on our board, create and nurture from the first story, I think we can take away that beautiful girls create. And especially as dads who are trying to figure out, what can I do to encourage my daughter to be beautiful from the inside and out. It's maybe finding those opportunities to help her create. So for instance, one of my pet peeves is when we resort to showing our older daughter, who's almost 2, videos, just to sit and watch. Our kids are like zombies when they sit in front of these videos. And for me, it's kind of just, concerning. And, it's backed up from a medical standpoint that, they shouldn't really be just, watching videos on end, especially if they're not educational, that, there should be some parental guidance, and there should be some limits. And for me, I think it's especially a pet peeve because instead of sitting and watching content, maybe she could be doing something where she's creating. And that's how I approach at least our first child so far, is wanting to find those opportunities to create. So instead of just buying a game for her that she participates in passively, I purchased a keyboard that she can begin to learn how to create music. And we also, shameless plug from IKEA, bought this easel where she can create in the form of art and drawing. So those are some examples of how maybe when we look to how to develop beauty in our girls, we can look to making them, to developing their abilities to create. And yeah, and just looking out for those opportunities to help them create. So from our second story, it's going to be Adam and Eve. And this book, the Beginner's Bible, is it's really fun. Not only is it just very simple, easy take away messages and deliver them to your kids, but it also has just very funny illustrations. So from Adam and Eve, it says God had planted a beautiful garden for Adam in a place called Eden. A river flowed through the garden. Just gonna fix her nice little hat here. A river flowed through the garden. So Adam loved his new home. His job was to name all the animals and care for the garden. Adam loved all the animals, but he could not find a friend that was just right for him. So God created a whoa, a whoa man, a woman. Adam named her Eve. She was just right for Adam. Adam and Eve loved each other. Together they took care of God's garden. And of course this is the story of Adam and Eve, and it's like, a beautiful picture of a man and a woman complementing each other. And one of the things I remember, with our first daughter, it's like, it's kind of like, especially as a man, it's like, is my only job, to raise this woman to fulfill, maybe the desires of a man, to make her a suitable wife? Is that what this is all about? And I think, Adam and Eve supports that. There's some truth to that, a woman should be a great compliment to a man and vice versa. But I think there's also more to that. I think in general, yes, it's to help, it's to be a helpful partner to the man. But I also get the impression that a woman is just in general a nurturer from this story. I get that. And that is our second quality of beauty from the inside out, is beautiful girls nurture. And I can speak from personal experience. There are a couple of decisions that you make in your life that are the most important decisions, and can change the course of your life. If you're a spiritual person, and in particular if you're a Christian, you would say it's the decision to follow Jesus as your savior, and to trust that there is a God who loves you and who wants the best for you. And as a result of that, your outpouring of love is to in turn love and follow him. That's an important decision. Another important decision, like, that comes right after that, is who you decide to align yourself with for life, in terms of a life partner. And I think that can mean the difference between life and death. And for me, I have to be grateful, because my life partner, she is my rock in ways that, like, maybe I never even knew that I needed a rock. And I have to, I'm grateful for all the ways that, the different ways that she makes me better, a better man, even when I don't really feel like being better. Like, one of the things I appreciate the most is that she's able to, when I can't even see the best in myself, like, she's still able to see that. That is all to say that the reason why I bring her up is because she is a great nurturer, and she's gonna, nurture and take care of me, of our children, of her family. Um, and so it just gives me insight, and in terms of, a man finding, a suitable woman, a really great woman. I think that's going to be part of what a man finds beautiful, is that they find that, they're great at nurturing. A very, very simple example is the dating scene. And you'll just notice different things with different women, who you might just notice different habits that they might have. Let's say if you're going out with them, one woman might not really feel like naturally inclined, for instance, to, and this is very simple. It's not to say, like, if she does it, she's the one, and if she doesn't do it, she's not the one. Not at all. But it's just one of those things that it may, if you are used to a girl who let's say doesn't necessarily think to put together a plate for you. Let's say you're out at an event and there's like a buffet, right? And you're in line, and let's say like she doesn't really, I don't know, like she just hands you your plate and she just goes and does her thing, and and then you have an experience with a woman who is like, what can I get you? I need to make sure that you eat at this event. I know you're busy running around. Can I get something? Can I put a plate together? Something that simple, but it just illustrates how beautiful it is if a woman, has developed that quality of nurturing. And, there's some other things that are going into that, being sacrificial, being thoughtful, being considerate. But in general, I think, yeah, I think a lot of us men would agree that a woman who's beautiful, a woman who is nurturing, that's very attractive. So that is basically the conclusion of week one of our beauty school. I want to thank all of you beauties, if that's what you want to be called, all you beauties out there for tuning in. And the first two qualities that we learned about is that a beautiful girl creates and a beautiful girl nurtures. And I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear, especially from the dads, but also the moms out there, just your experiences with the difficulty in raising daughters, how there's such an emphasis on how they look on their outward appearance. Do you ever have those situations, and what kinds of things have you found to be helpful when it comes to trying to develop things outside of just their looks? I would love to hear from you, and also to hear from you regarding these two specific qualities. Do you find that beautiful girls tend to create? Do you find that they tend to nurture? And I'll look forward to hopefully seeing you on our next go around for week two, which actually may be just in a few minutes if baby will let me do the next video. But with that, may God bless you. I hope this was a blessing to you. And again, if this is something that you like, please do share with others who also may be interested in this, who may have daughters, may be interested in developing their beauty from the inside out. And again, if you are interested personally, I would love it. I would love to welcome you to subscribe as well. All right, with that, have a beautiful week ahead, and a happy Thanksgiving. Take care. Bye bye.